Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of UsernameTaken. We're at the HyperX Arena, the pinnacle of esports, the pinnacle of creation and gamers and all that together. And my guest today is kind of a culmination of all that in himself. I have Mr. MVD in the building with me. Super excited to have a piece of your time. I know you've been so busy going between tourney after tourney. You got the fresh sponsor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir, finally.
How are you feeling, man?
I mean, I feel great. Everything's been long overdue with, like you said, the new team and everything, but traveling to events has never felt better. Seeing all my friends constantly, just being able to compete at that high level again, consistently is just an amazing feeling that I will never take for granted.
The consistency is for real, man. You've been so consistent. I've gotten to kind of stay close to you because you are, playing in Vegas locals. At this point, you are a Vegas smasher, even though you kind of came here from somewhere else. But I've gotten to see that consistency. I'm so glad to see it come in form on those majors at that big stage. But for our guests that might not know who Mr. MVD is, give us a little bit of background about yourself.
I'm MVD. I play Smash Ultimate competitively. I've been doing Smash competitively for about almost 15 years. It's been quite a ride. I live in Vegas, like you said. I have a transplant. I came from Oklahoma prior to this. But, everybody's from somewhere else, Not everyone's
That's
from where
Vegas
you live.
Experience.
Exactly,
for sure, yeah.
Exactly. Everyone comes here and then they just stay,
I know you have a lot of ties to like Miami and Florida. Mm-hmm. Like what's your ties there? What's your heritage in that area?
Yeah, so I was born in New York. We moved to Miami when I was like 4 years old.
Okay.
So in Miami currently, my grandparents still live there and uncle, and then I have a cousin in North Florida. Family's kind of scattered everywhere, but mostly East Coast. I'm the only one that decided to leave.
Yeah, you get space here. So
Yeah.
I understand. Like when you're on the East, you're like million people on one little dot, and then you get to come to the West and it's like, wow, there's so much space. I have to travel between my cities and things like that. It's definitely a different pace. How have you felt being transplanted here? Do you feel like you've had an easy time coming into Vegas? I know sometimes people can feel it's difficult to find friends and things like this, but how's your time been since you've moved here?
The lucky thing for me is like because of what I do, I have friends everywhere.
Yeah, that's
so
facts.
I had a bunch of friends in the scene and even out of the scene from Vegas. So coming here, like off rip, it felt very comfortable, and I didn't mind anything really. I felt very welcomed once the events started coming back up after lockdown happened. But the scene is great. The people are great. I love the city. So
is that when you moved out here, like around lockdown times? Around
it was March 2020, literally when everything started closing down. My flight to come here was a 16-person flight from Dallas, Texas.
Oof.
And that airport is huge and busy, and it was dead. It was completely quiet, and it was weird. It was very weird. And then landing here, the strip lights were off.
Right. It was different.
Pay the bill. It was very strange.
Yeah, everybody was in save mode for sure.
Everybody, absolutely.
It was time to, like you said, lock down. But I'm so happy we've gotten through those times. So happy that we've gotten to grow our friendship since those. I feel like that's around the time I actually was getting to. So I'm glad I got to be a part of really being part of your Vegas experience as you came out here.
I appreciate it.
No, of course,
man. It's always
man.
been a good one to me.
Casting you in itself is always a banger. Like, you're very exciting. You play characters that are very explosive, not only in the tools that they have, but in the way they play the game. And you're a very cerebral person. First conversation I had with you, I knew you were somebody that thinks a lot about your responses to things. You stay in your wheelhouse about things. And what kind of, have you always been that way? Is that something that, you've kind of honed as you've gotten older, or?
Yeah, I think that's a trait that I've just always had. I think my mom and grandmother, they really injected that into me. Ever since I was young, they always just kept me on my toes and just threw like a thinking man's question at you constantly.
Right.
And always made me think, always wanted to just keep stimulating that part of my mind when I was a young kid. And they did that for all, me and my cousins that I lived with growing up with. And they were just really, really kept it going to a point that as we grew up, it was just second nature. We would always think about things before we do them. Not even just at home situations, but real world situations. If they're not there to give us that look to make us think about things, always they're looking at me. And I gotta think about this in that kind of capacity, So
because everything gets back to the source,
Exactly.
So whatever you're done in the dark is gonna come to light. So
ninja detectives.
it's awesome to see that you've been somebody that in a scene in the industry that sometimes has a lot of young people and a lot of young-minded people, even if they're older. I've always noticed that you're able to not only stay relevant but stay out of controversy and stay somebody that is really true to themselves, doesn't speak about things that you're not really, like I said earlier, not really in your wheelhouse, or you're not going to expose yourself like in a way that's disadvantageous to you. You know,
Right.
you really make sure that you put your chess pieces where you mean to before you take your hand off and make your move. And
Right.
I feel like that's something everybody can really pull a piece from, watching you interact in the scenes and watching you even interact in the game. So super exciting stuff, man. Is there like a key moment that you remember when you were young and around all your cousins and things like that, of like you knew you were the gamer and you knew like you were gonna be the competitive gamer? Like what was that shift of like, I just kind of do this casually, but I think that might be the best.
Well, my cousins, Michael and Jonathan, growing up, you know, they're my brothers at this point. You know, I love those guys. Michael wasn't a huge gamer. Jonathan was. So him and I, we would always like get into it or like always want to beat each other at a game. So I think growing up, just having him around pushed me competitively, because he's a couple years older than me. So like he pushed me competitively at a really early age. And then his friend group, which became my friend group, you know, like I was the 8-year-old hanging out with the 12-year-old, 13-year-olds.
Right.
And, you know, I was beating up all of them in Smash 64, Melee growing up. Like,
I got hands.
It was little things like that, like little moments that we would have like in neighborhood tournaments, and like I would get like top 3, top 4. And like, again, I was the youngest of the group, and I was like, okay, well, this is fun. You know, I like this. And I would play with my cousin at home constantly.
Who were you playing on Smash 64?
Smash 64 came out when I was like 6.
Right.
And my cousin in my brain was player 1 because he's, you know, my older cousin. So I was player 2. So my logic was I played Luigi because Luigi's player 2.
Yeah, that's the simplest form.
Yeah,
That's
right? Like,
did your cousin play a lot of Mario?
No, he played like Fox and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, whatever, you know.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm committed to this player 2 role. Like,
Committed to the bit. Like,
Luigi's fire in that game though. Not the best.
he was fun though.
Yeah,
He was
he's
fun.
fun.
Definitely fun.
That Pikachu Smash 64 is
Insane. Absolutely insane.
Man.
If I knew better, I would have played him.
Yeah, for sure. But so you were getting competitive with cousins, and you're around what age when the first title that you kind of got serious on? You said about 15 years ago, so that was Melee that you started playing?
It was Brawl. So like
Brawl,
Melee,
okay,
I had like little flashes of competitive experience. Like our university in Miami, FIU, which is where I went to.
Okay.
They had a competitive scene that was booming for everything, really.
Hey, shout out FIU.
Yeah, shout out FIU. They actually have a really good esports program right now. They're doing a bunch of stuff, and they invited me to do stuff, but I'm out here, so it's kind of hard.
You're in the desert.
Yeah, definitely far from home, but they're doing great stuff out there. But I know I went to a few things during the Melee days, like maybe 2 things, like at FIU with some friends and stuff. But to really cement like the competitive nature was Brawl.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when you started picking up like the Diddy, right? Diddy was your character.
He was my first character
and
in
then
Brawl.
you had Snake in the pocket, or like
Snake was ironically was a character that I was very upset about his inclusion. I didn't play Metal Gear Solid growing up. I was like, I don't like this is a waste.
his part in Subspace and Missiary's fire.
Oh, for sure. No, I appreciated him after I had a high school friend. His name's Gilbert. He lives in Miami still.
Shout out Gilbert.
Talk to him all the time.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, you should try Snake out. And I was like, but like, why?
Like,
He's like, I know you. Like, this character feels like something you would like. Like, you know, like you said, cerebral, thinking man kind of person.
Yeah, man.
He was like, you should give it a try. So I was like, all right. So I picked them, and I just pressed in the grenades and doing the setups, and I was like, you might be onto something here.
Say, hold on. Let me get in the lab real quick.
Yeah, and that was probably in like late 2008.
Okay.
And then my first official tournament was in March 2009.
And what did you place at your first tournament?
I got 33rd out of like 160 people.
No, that's
Wasn't
solid.
bad.
That's solid. What? That's difficult, especially because like once you go into first of all, you were unseeded, so you had to play the best people usually to start.
It was rough.
And then on top of that, losers brackets of some of these tournaments, man. I mean, you have to fight absolute demons, bracket demons that get knocked out early, or just maybe we're warming up their hands. And in fact, you got 33rd. That's super impressive.
Yeah.
When did you get your first big win in Smash?
First big win. I mean, I probably won like a local, probably a year and a half into competitive.
Okay.
Because like South Florida scene for Brawl was like really strong.
And Brawl was a hard game.
Yeah.
You have Meta Knights. You got
No,
it's a tough time.
It was crazy. My training partners in Brawl that like took me from being Jesse from this neighborhood up to MVD status. They were the three of the best players in the state, and 3 of the best players in the world against Snake. So honestly, it was really rough, and I don't know how I didn't quit besides being stubborn. And eventually, it just like like I said, Florida was just such a strong state against Snake
Yeah.
that like winning anything there with my character was like almost impossible.
Yeah,
so when I
gotta be
started
up.
to win locals, I was like, all right, I actually am good. Like,
And what was a day like for you in those times? Like, were you practicing like 4 to 6 hours, like 6 to 8 hours, 10 to 12? Like, what was it?
yeah. So that was back in high school. I would do all my homework in class, get home. My grandmother would make me some kind of like late lunch after school.
Yeah.
And then I would hop on a website called Game Battles. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Okay. It was like kind of a matchmaking system?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like MLG had like a section for online gaming, and it was Game Battles.
Okay.
And for Smash and Brawl back then, you were either on Game Battles or All Is Brawl. I was a Game Battles
You were on the
person.
Game Battles guy, climbing the ladder.
Yeah. Game Battles was one of those things where you'd play online, climb the ladder, and I would get home from school, associate with my grandmother a little bit, have some lunch, go to my room, and just play Brawl Wi-Fi, which was awful, for like 6 hours. Just burn through it. Just do it.
6 hours of
it was,
Wi-Fi.
It was insane. Like,
Man.
yeah.
And so you weren't really like labbing. You were just head to head, just fighting, just, you know.
Yeah, I was never a labber, still aren't. It was just one of those things where I'd play situations and then just repeat them in my head and be like, okay, what am I doing wrong? How can I improve? What
You
am
saw
I
where
losing
you
to?
lost in your mind,
Yeah.
and you just make sure you optimize that for the next time you
Yeah,
run
them
across it.
shower thoughts went hard about Smash. Like, I'd tell you, like,
That's facts.
I would be in there like, wait, maybe this setup might work. Like, have a brain blast moment, Jimmy Neutron style, and just like it would come out, I would apply it, and it would work, and I'm like,
You know the
Okay.
fighter Israel Adesanya, correct?
Yeah.
He talks about how he'll sit in the shower and just shadow box his opponent, and even after a fight, he goes through the entire fight again in the shower. So hey,
that's very similar to what I
you're
would do
tapped
in the
in,
Brawl
bro.
days.
That's-
Like,
maybe that's the championship formula. You got to get in the
Honestly.
showers, got the the biggest jet you got just running on you, and just think about every single choice you've made.
Yeah.
You just finished a major. You were at Let's Make Major Moves or Let's Make Moves.
Luminosity makes moves.
Okay,
Miami.
yes, it's been
very,
rebranded.
very long name.
Luminosity's been picking up players.
Yeah, they've been picking up everything. They're doing a lot of stuff.
They said, let me sign that check for you. I got you.
Let me in.
That's
So,
hey,
okay.
How was the experience there? Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was a great event. It was the event was ran flawlessly, I would say. It was on the beach, so great venue, amazing hotel with the like you
Miami,
literally
right?
walk right outside and you're on Collins Avenue, you're on the beach, Miami Beach. You know, it was beautiful.
Sometimes hard to stay focused when it's like that. Though.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, it was a really good experience. Everything was ran really well, like I said. The TOs, the staff, everyone was great. Experience of the event was great. I had an unfortunate final day, but that doesn't make the event bad. You know.
You were against pretty tough opponents. Like your whole bracket path always. I feel like you just are like, it's like who do we want to have the hardest bracket path? We could throw Jesse in the mix. Why not? He's usually good for it.
I'm friends with all those TOs and Cedars, and they're still like.
Maybe that's why they
you
feel
go,
like
bro.
they're okay to do it because they like know.
I'm the one they can do. They can get away with it, right? Like, honestly, my bracket path in Miami was pretty good.
Okay.
I had gotten over the flu recently, and then like on that Sunday, which was top 64, I woke up with a fever again, and I was like sick, and it was hard to focus, and I was like, ugh, not today. Oh well.
Right. You
All
don't have
good.
that character you can kind of just spam on somebody with. Like if you unintentionally make any move or press any button, you have a lot of punishable time.
Yeah.
So
There
you
were a
have to-
lot of missing but Nikitas, and I died for them, and I was like, dang.
Even if you don't, at the ledge, angle it out the right way so that the blast actually sends them out. It's like, okay, I'm just not in the zone today. Let me, so.
It was rough, but it happens.
But I'm glad that you got to go out in general because I know that Stride being able to allow you to travel again has really helped you just, feel a lot out of that funk.
It's
out of
a
that
big
rut.
motivator.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Big motivator.
Yeah, now you got to get in the lab maybe. Get that.
Maybe.
No, I've been seeing some of the clips and stuff on Twitter from, all these enhanced training mod sessions or whatever. I'm just like, oh my. I'm
People are
scared.
crazy.
Y'all are absolutely like TAS speedrunners, though.
People are demons. They're grinders.
Could not be me. It seems like a lot of them like to play Steve, and that's very concerning. Like, I don't want you guys in the lab. Stay away from any practice
Honestly,
tools.
if you play Steve, the game should have a built-in, like, training mode only lasts for 1 hour if you're playing Steve a day.
So it's like the hard limit.
Yeah,
you cannot get.
time limit that you hit it. It's like it soft locks you. Sorry,
Oh
pick
my
someone
gosh.
else, bro. Like,
You were finishing up in Miami, and you trying to catch the flight, which was making me laugh hard because I saw you on Twitter like, y'all, I might miss my flight, but my grandma's saying I gotta come eat this food or else she's gonna beat me up.
So funny.
It's almost Thanksgiving around this time. This is gonna.
I'm going back.
Oh, you're gonna go. You're gonna
back
be.
for
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
sweet. So it wasn't even like you were missing out on that meal.
No.
It was just like, hey, this is the warm up.
Yeah.
You get a good Thanksgiving meal in.
Oh yeah. I mean, my family is always really big on. I mean, we're Hispanic culture, so very big on meals and family time. And like, if my grandma says you're gonna eat something, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you just ate.
Yeah.
You're gonna eat something. You
Yeah,
know,
don't be disrespecting
exactly.
my food.
So it was like I told her, I said, hey Nana, I have to leave by 12. She was like, okay. I told her like at 11. Leave it an hour. Okay, that's cool. It's like 11:50. She's like, oh, I'm gonna make you food, and I was like,
No.
now?
No.
She was like, yeah, it'll be quick, and I was like, I need to leave in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
She's like, it'll be fine, don't worry. That was not done until 12:05.
Yeah.
And I had to sit there, eat everything. You leave something that's insulting, eat everything, call the Uber. Left like 20 minutes late.
You're TSA pre-check, but you're very known to be stopped extra at your TSA pre-check lines.
Bro, I had the craziest thing when I was going to Miami from here.
Yeah.
When you go through TSA, you have to scan your bag in the machine.
Right.
That machine like broke while I was scanning my stuff, and I was like,
they said, we got a code red. He's disarming our systems with his bag tech.
We were just there for like 25 minutes, and they were like, yeah, the machine's not reading any bags, so we have to just put it out, put it back in, put it out, put it back in, and just hope. And I was like,
can somebody manually
like guys, we gotta go, you know? And it was the last flight of the night. Like I had one of someone who was on my flight. She was like, some of us have flights in like 10, 15 minutes. I don't want to be that person. And I was like, I'm on that flight too. Like, can we?
You're like, any chance we can, get this?
Yeah, it was very strange. Very
theater experience fixed. Because hey, just go ahead and search through my stuff. But oh my gosh, yeah, TSA. It's funny that you can be pre-checked, but they love you every time. Follow MVD on Twitter. Every time he's in the airport, he drops a poll. Will TSA give me an extra check? And he even follows up on it. So stay tuned for his. You got port coming up. Yes. I think by the time this drops, you have already been at port. Yeah. So best of luck. I know you got interesting pools experience, but if you get the matchup right, you got the matchup. So that'll be perfect.
Yeah. My back is hard, but by the time y'all be watching this, like I would have already won port, so it's fine. Like, don't worry about it.
Thanks.
And if I don't, then it wasn't me. Like, it's that simple.
It's said. And it's possibly done.
Exactly.
We'll keep it in the ether for whoever wants to make that happen.
Footnote,
I believe in you. There's a lot of good practice or a lot of good competition out there, but it's people that you've also practiced against time and time again. Have you been on the Smash Pros ladder?
So I have it. I haven't started it because when I got it, that was like I was leaving to Miami, and then when I came back, I was sick again. So I was like, ugh. But I might grind some of it today before I leave tomorrow for my flight. Who knows? We'll see what happens.
Your boy Sonic's got the top spot. That's warranted?
It's not surprising.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's such a good player.
Speedrunner. And he plays a speedy guy. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get Sonics on the pod. This is a call out. We got to have you and Sonics battle it out for UsernameTaken Smash King on the pod. That's going to happen. So
whoever gets the most views wins.
Well, we're going to take it to a quick break real quick. We got some things lined up for MVD. I think he's going to talk about some MultiVersus stuff that he had lined up. So
MultiVersus.
We'll be right back after this quick break.
I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now and dance, dance, dance. I just wanna have fun, clap my hands, turn around now. I just wanna have fun, turn around now, turn around now. I just wanna have fun, turn around now, turn around now. I just wanna turn around, dance, dance, dance. I just wanna clap, clap, turn around, dance, dance. I just wanna clap, clap, turn around, I just wanna
Welcome back to the pod. Thank you so much for hanging with us through that commercial break. We want to, of course, thank HyperX Arena letting us in the building. We're here with the man, MVD. We got to talk about your life. We got to talk a lot about Smash, but you also have been a part of like just creating so many other games, and people use you as kind of like a very strong litmus test on whether or not we have something that's cooking or if it's something maybe we should put back and maybe put in the lab for a bit longer.
It's a pretty cool honor. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
the fact that companies come up to me and they're like, "Hey, we know who you are. We like you. We respect you. Can you tell us if we're good?"
Well, you just did.
Cool.
You've been doing the Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl 2 streams recently. That game's been fun. You've been enjoying it?
It's taking a little bit to get used to, but for me, it's a lot more fun than the first one. The first one, it's kind of rough for me. I was like, I don't know if it's for me. Second one feels a lot better than the first one, so we'll see if I continue to play it, if I wind up liking it more, or whatever.
Are you able to use a controller, use your fob right now? Or is that?
I'm using a PS5 controller for it.
Everything's good.
Yeah.
All the controller mapping and everything. Okay, for sure. Yeah, I've seen some kind of crazy clips already coming out from that game. I'm like, hey, yo, chill out.
It's not crazy.
Not day one.
A lot of mechanics for that are really interesting. I would say that.
You were a huge part of the MultiVersus game as that job. That was, it got to the most played game ever. Like, it was like millions of people pouring into this game. I mean, when you put these IPs together with the platform, family, party style fighter, it's a recipe for success. They reached that success, at least in saturating the market. Didn't really keep, it was a hard time to really keep that player base, but you were a big part of literally before Alpha. I know you were already working on this project. How was that whole, from when you got to touch it and when you got to be a part of it until it kind of released? Do you feel like a lot of good steps were taken and things were executed on right?
Yeah, I mean, the devs, the guys at Player First Games, Tony and his very, very small group of people.
Yeah.
I gotta stress that. The group of the team is very small.
Yeah.
So a lot of things that happened during, its release, because it was still in beta or whatever. It was an open beta.
Right.
For the entirety of its longevity when it was out. It was never a complete product. And people kind of failed to realize that. And then on top of that, like I said, very small group of people working on it. So all of the bugs and issues and things that would happen that we would get feedback on, they work on it as fast as they can. But again, small group.
Yeah.
It takes time for them.
Small indie company.
Yeah. Good people. Very good people. They had the resources and everything. I don't think they didn't have a larger group because of lack of funding or anything like that. I think they just had a very, very specific vision, and the people that they wanted to work and touch on their project had to share that vision.
Right.
And if it wasn't in sync, Tony was very much like, it's not going to work with us, not going to line up. Like, I'd rather have my group of, let's just say, 10 super dedicated people that all see the vision, as opposed to 50 people where 30 to 40 of them aren't 100% on board or in sync with them.
I feel that.
Because that can cause more problems and make things
more. Even I play a lot of Teamfight Tactics. In the most recent set, they increased the balanced team size. And, essentially that led to being one of the more harder sets to balance because of how many people. And then moving into the next set, they've reduced that team and they feel like they found a really good balance. Right. So, yeah, you're not wrong. It's having a lot of people can really mess up the vision, but can help you get to those deadlines faster, But at the end of the day, you have somebody like Tony that wanted to be at the head and wanted things to fall in this everything in the same aura, coloring in the colors. I could see how that could become really difficult. And then when you have millions of people like, hey, let us in, we need more. Where's the drops? It's like, wait.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you're as good as your plan sometimes. And, the plan was there, but is it scalable? Does it have that scalability if it reaches that? Maybe not. And the servers, I know, were a big issue. Probably why a lot of people stopped kind of playing as much, because the servers started becoming difficult to, play at that highest level on, where you feel like, things are responding the way you'd like to.
It was like servers and content drops and all that stuff, but again, people fail to comprehend, or just they didn't care that it was still an open beta. They weren't
beta.
Yeah,
beta.
It wasn't done yet.
Right.
It was because I definitely, when they told me they were gonna release the game, I was against it. I was like, I don't think we should. I think we should just let it rock for now and keep working on stuff and keep throwing out little teases here and there and get everyone hyped, but still accept that we need 1 to 2 years of cooking time still.
Right. Kind of like that Project L approach. People have played the game, but ain't nobody playing the game. You know, they're going through every quality check before they really drop something in. I loved MultiVersus. We actually have a tier list ready to go on our beautiful OMEN computer. You know, we got that best OMENs in the spot, courtesy HP. Shout out OMEN gaming line. But MVD is going to take us through some of his thoughts of, you know, I want you to basically cover your overall hype for them being on the roster. You got Warner Brothers, insane IP.
Oh, yeah.
You have access to a lot of things that you wouldn't expect to be in the same world together, and I'd love to see your thoughts and kind of see you rate them up. I already know who I think is going to be at the top.
I mean, just looking at the roster, like this group of people, incredible. The fact that they were able to make this happen, like, you know, we always joke about like, oh, like, what's the next game that's going to be like a Smash-esque game, you know? We have like Rivals of Aether, we have NASB, this comes out, you know, Slap City, all these games, and it's like, this was the one, Warner Brothers was the one that everyone was always like, with that roster they could have, like, that's something that could actually rival Smash.
Right.
And I remember when I first got on board and saw the roster, I was like, whoa.
You said, let's go.
I was like, dang.
I mean, even just looking at them now,
it's crazy. Like,
yeah, we're able to, you know, get an idea.
There's some that I don't care for, but, you know, in terms of hype, when I first saw what the roster I saw, obviously we know the one I was most excited for.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
You know.
You and I are brothers,
you know,
in that
like,
way. That Bugs Bunny boy,
dude, he was so much fun. Like,
yes.
he was insanely broken.
Broken.
But like
in the best way though.
Yeah, like the super negative day one that when I played it, like he was the character that I was dead set on. I was gonna try him out first. I want to play him. It just seems like the kind of character I'd like. And boy, was I right. Like, his toolkit just lined up with everything I enjoyed doing. He had, like, a gigantic Diddy Kong forward air. He had the rocket. That was insane. The insane up air baseball bat. The down air mallet. Like, one of the best things about this game that I loved was, like, the sound design.
Yes.
Oh,
those
everything
Looney Tunes
sounded
sounds
so
and all that.
good. So, yeah, Bugs was
hitting with the up
easily
air, that whack of that bat, digging down and then setting up a nice little rocket or a safe, you know, edge guard or ledge trap situation. Like, oh.
No, it was crazy. Bugs Bunny, he was by far my most excited character. I was most excited for him. It was great. Beyond that, gotta give it to the OG classic, Tom and Jerry. Yeah. Tom and Jerry, I was like, dang.
He was annoying.
Yeah.
The good Tom and Jerry's were frustrating.
They were so good. Like Void?
Dude.
Oh,
I got to play a set against Void and the Cat.
That's so hard. It's so difficult.
We took one stock off of each of them.
Nice.
But we never took a game
That's
off
an
of them.
accomplishment.
Yeah?
They won Evo, you know?
Hey, let's go. Hey, no meta Nick. That's you and me, because we were in
Evo
there.
champs. You know, I remember I played them in we queued up with them, me and my team partner, for Evo, and we got it to game 3. It was close, but it was like,
dude,
these guys are good.
That Wonder Woman that Nakat had is
so crazy.
Oppressive.
That character was insane.
Touch into death. Like, you don't do anything.
Shields and all this stuff. I was like, bro, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So next character that I was excited for, the trailer hyped us up super hard, Shaggy.
Yeah.
I hated him after he came out.
Super Shaggy.
But when he was like Ultra Instinct, when they fed into the meme and everything,
bruh,
I was like,
they killed that. They killed every
fantastic.
The characters did what the characters, like, either the internet wanted them to do as like a meme or like literally what they did. Like, you watch Bugs Bunny, like in any of the shows, he did like almost everything that he does in MultiVersus, which is like that one-to-one.
They were just very correct.
Dude.
And that's another thing that's very akin to like Smash. You know, Sakurai does his research and like Sakurai does his research and makes sure that the characters feel like the characters.
Right.
It's not just like a skin with a moveset and the character put on top of it.
You even see it with like how we have Ken and Ryu. Like, you literally can play their fighters. Like, you know, you can do the inputs and it rewards you for doing that.
And I feel like the way I described that, like a character model with a moveset attached to a skin, that was very much how NASB 1 for me felt, which is why I didn't like it that much. NASB 2 goes above and beyond. The characters feel unique. So that's very good. Good step for them. But like I said, with MultiVersus, they do that every character with the voice acting and the quips and everything that they say and do and how they move and feel. Like, it very much felt like if you imagined this character in a fighting game, this is what they do.
100%.
Yeah.
You couldn't say any better. So, Shaggy was beautiful. He all the sandwiching and the Super Saiyaning
so
and
good.
He's blinking around with instant transmission. Like,
so funny.
Fire.
Let's see. Who else would I put up in S tier levels of excitement? I'm not gonna lie. When Gizmo got announced, that was pretty fire. I did enjoy it because, like, you know, who doesn't like the Goonies? You know,
Yeah.
people who are young, obviously.
Throw the like Gremlin.
You don't know
like,
who that is.
All the Gremlin universe,
The
like
Gremlins,
being a part of it was just like, dang, I didn't even think that could happen. You know, just like one of those moments of like, I didn't even know you could put these people in a game. Like, 100% agree. His kit was interesting.
Yeah.
Difficult.
Definitely a funny little character.
Yeah,
Funny
like,
little guy.
Cool supportive character. And like could carry in the right hands, but like it's difficult. It was a hard executing game plan, you know. Everything was very point and click in this game for a lot of characters. So in fact, you kind of had to line things up for yourself. It probably was, there's a lot of moving. Movement was crazy.
Yeah. No, he was a fun little guy. I think after that, you know, dude, I just love Looney Tunes.
No, it's
Taz was super exciting, you know, especially when they released the Space Jam cut up jersey, you know, for him. I was like, dude, this is
the
great.
Toon Squad. The
Yeah,
Toon Squad
Toon
jerseys
Squad
were
jersey
fire.
was so good.
I bought one.
Of course.
I bought one.
Of course.
Yeah.
So good. Loved his edition. It was very exciting.
He's very anti-meta too, because like projectiles were in. He's like, I'm gonna eat your projectile, turn it into an anvil, and
He would eat
assault
everything.
you with it.
It makes sense, you know. I think that's actually, you know, Rain Dog. I liked the addition of an original character.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that they were like, oh, we're not just doing all these things that we know. We're doing this adorable dog that has a heart in his head.
Heart
and
in
is
that.
very annoying.
Very frustrating.
It's very frustrating.
Towards the end days, oh my gosh! Once people figured out Rain Dog's game plan, it's so frustrating to play against.
No, but he was always a really cool addition. I liked the aspect of an original character, original design, and he's just adorable. You know, he was twerking on everybody. He was dancing. He had everything.
And the neutral special was like really broken.
Fireballs are crazy.
No, the neutral like being able to bring them back.
Oh,
my
tether,
God, and then like if they get hard smack, like never
the
mind.
tether was insane. I don't know
what.
That design is crazy. That's how you know this game is 2v2 focused. They were like, our character is a doubles character, very clearly. Can he play singles? Absolutely. However,
he could scrap. He was boxing.
Thrives in 2v2 for sure.
Sitting there just doing fireballs and tethering and saving the day. It's like, all right, get me out. I gotta go.
And I think the last character I put for S tier excitement was Iron Giant.
Huge.
I love that movie growing up. You know, I think everyone did. Most people did.
Huge.
He was so cool. Just the concept of him. Everyone when he had the Superman logo on and everything. And it was just so good. Like, it was perfect. I think his edition was really cool. The trailer was really cool for him.
And the fact they made him work in a game that was so beat him up, like, you know, it was hard to, you know, in my eyes, it probably would have been very difficult to figure out how to make him be able to withstand some pressure, but also not be so overtuned like we kind of saw in the first drop. And also there was just kind of buggy things that made him, like, he wasn't supposed to do those things, but he did those things.
They were like, dang, really? It's like that?
Yeah,
Oops,
man.
my fault.
There's a lot of things going on, but Iron Giant, fire.
Yeah, I agree. And then I guess for A tier, we can put kind of like just,
your staples?
You know, the staple superhero characters. You know, they were cool. We were excited for them. I don't like Superman. I don't like Batman either.
We're going orders, y'all. It's ordered tiers.
Yeah, I'm trying to order it as much as I can.
Ordered tiers.
I'm not a big Superman or Batman fan, just in general. But Harley Quinn, super exciting.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, I thought she was gonna be really cool, and she was lame, but cool. Too many shields, but she was really cool.
Bruh.
I like the addition of the DC characters. Obviously, they're very strong, just recognizable faces that can help push the game. Obviously.
I love that Superman had that frost breath. That was super interesting to me. Like that they chose to bring that into a big angle. It was fun to use, a little abusable, but it was.
I mean,
really,
like we said, the characters were designed
flawlessly
for them. Like, it was perfect design. You know, whether the execution was on point or not is a different story. But you know, it is what it is. So I never watched the show.
Really?
Never watched it. My mom likes it, but I don't know.
It's worth the watch.
Those kind of things, like that era, I just don't care for it really. So I've never
Game of Thrones, it has its audience. For those that aren't watching the video side, we were talking about Arya Stark, who was in Game of Thrones. Definitely a big part of that storyline at the end. I was, probably no spoilers, but ends up being a really huge part of all the things that happen. I just don't know if, it's one of those same things.
Right.
Execution right towards the end. It matters so much how you wrap up a story, and I don't know. It's a long watch. I don't know if I should recommend you to watch it if you don't got the time. But.
I have plenty of time. I fly a lot. But no, Arya, I thought she was really exciting because like not only was this proof that real world characters within their IP could become a character.
Right.
It was like, because everything else is very cartoony or from a show or a movie or like, we have Gizmo from, the Gremlins, but like that's not a person. You know, getting Arya as a person, as a real life human to be a character, I think that was really cool. And very telling of what we would get in the future and what's possible beyond that. And to speak about what was in the future, that was LeBron.
LeBron James, baby.
No, his name is LeBron in the game. It's not LeBron James.
Oh, facts. They couldn't get the LeBron James name.
Actually, the funny story behind that, his name is LeBron because, and that's why they used the voice actor of LeBron for Space Jam 2.
Right.
Because getting LeBron James would have cost a lot more money.
Bam.
There you go, some intel.
That's the $250,000
LeBron James is too
right
expensive,
there.
you know?
Just for him to come in and say a couple lines. And,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You can use my likeness. You can use my first name. You can use my dances.
Yeah.
But you can't use my last name. The King James off the table.
Exactly. It's because if you look at it from like an IP law perspective, Warner Brothers owns the LeBron character from Space Jam 2.
Correct.
Even though they use his likeness, they still own that character.
Right.
So it's much easier for them to just throw in LeBron.
Right.
And be like, yep, he's from Space Jam 2. It's not the real
And then
guy,
maybe
right?
one day we get the legendary King James skin.
That
where he gets, it's going to be like $50, $70, but
That
LeBron's
would be
getting
next
40
level.
of it.
That would be next level.
Hey, Tony. You know what I'm saying?
I got ideas over here, man.
Nah, don't put that on my table, man. They really gonna come. They gonna really ask me something.
Do you know how much that costs?
All right. So does that round out your A tier? You feel like?
I think. Yeah. I think that'll run out my A tier. It's pretty good. Good list of characters.
Your DC superheroes. Your real life, really well placed people that made it in.
You got your iconic people.
Yeah.
That's the iconic tier, And then I guess to start with the B tier, let's go with Velma.
Oof.
I didn't mind her inclusion. I would have much preferred Scooby.
That'd have been crazy.
That would have been great.
Scooby Dooby Doo.
Like have a Scooby Shaggy 2v2 team going on like that. That sounds
was it
much
down
more
the pipeline?
exciting.
You don't know if that was down the pipeline. I don't want to make you speak about something you can't, but like it wasn't even like in talks.
I heard a rumor that it was, but I was never told that Scooby was or was not going to be put in the game. It made sense that he would. If I were to guess, I would say yes, obviously.
Yeah, like one day.
Yeah.
Not today, but someday.
Because like you imagine the team dynamic of Scooby and Shaggy, that would have been great.
Bro, just
no
like,
one wants to play Scooby and Velma, Shaggy and Velma.
Line,
exactly. No, it would have been perfect.
The banter would have been intense.
Yeah, but I think it's cool just because Velma, again, is an iconic character. But yeah, and again, she opens up the door for more ladies to be added to the game, which is what we love, obviously, because we got a lot of dudes up in this list.
Facts.
But
it was a male heavy cast.
Yeah, I mean, we got some pretty good ladies in here.
Good reps.
Yeah. Speaking of good ladies, Garnet.
Yep.
I didn't watch the show, but I thought just like as a character design and looking at her, I was like, I can get behind this. It was pretty cool. She looks like she belongs in a game like this and can play a game like this.
That shout out to TK Breezy. I think TK Breezy is like the only person like playing Garnet heavy.
Yeah, TK like Garnet. Garnet was cool. I will admit that.
They fixed Garnet like towards the end, like with the patches.
Oh yeah, because she was terrible.
Yeah.
And then they were like, let's make her good.
Yeah, but like towards the end days, I remember Garnet was putting out pressure.
She was strong. She was definitely strong.
Big facts.
Okay. And then I guess jump into our next character, I have Stripe. Again, he was just hype because
he broke
more
the game.
Gremlin universe,
He broke the game.
You didn't like him?
Bro.
Not a fan.
I had to join him because he was such on launch.
He was a menace. Oh,
dude,
his
he
like
dropped me out. I was like top 100 Bugs Bunnies, bro. After that day, it was like I was 1,500 or something, bro. I got striped to death.
Y'all see the volume increase? That's passion. He's mad.
Mad.
He don't like Stripe.
I was up there. Like MultiVersus, I was in there, bro. I was on Coinbox. I was out there, bro. I was trying to go in.
You were.
They got me though.
And then Stripe shot you down.
No, literally.
Yeah.
With his little point and clicks.
Yeah, I thought he was just a cool addition, you know.
No, he was super awesome.
Yeah.
Chainsaw was cool. It was just that point and click neutral special.
Yeah. No, he was.
There's no way to make that a fair thing to you give to a character, bro.
He was kind of crazy. Kind of crazy character. And then I guess we can go after him. We can go Marvin Martian.
Super solid.
Not the hottest pick.
Yeah.
He was there.
He was hard to play too.
Yeah, he was also like 2 feet tall. Like, which I hate.
Minis.
I hate short characters in fighting games.
Yeah, it's difficult.
In real life, I love short people. Fighting games, I hate them. Absolute worst characters to fight against. You can't hit them. All they do is whiff punish you because they're just not there. You're like hitbox, and they're like,
yeah,
nice. Super annoying to fight.
Unaware of your hitbox, sir.
Yeah, but again, more Looney Tunes. Definitely a cool addition.
Yeah.
And then I think to round out this section, you got Black Adam. You know, I could have put him with the other DC characters, but I feel like no one cares about him.
They've tried. They
Yeah.
tried to make Black Adam catch.
They made a movie.
Hey, shout out to the Black Adam fans, though. I know y'all out there I know y'all happy to get your spotlight, but, you know, just not everybody loving. It's not catching the masses. 100%.
Which, you know, what it is what it is. But he was an alright character.
It's like Egyptian magic that's, like, imbued in him, right? Like, it's an Egyptian mythology. What's his story? Do you know anything about his backstory or anything?
I know that someone, like a shaman, had, like, this power. And then, before he died, he passed it on to this man.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the counter to Shazam.
Oh, right.
Right. So if you know how Shazam's power set works and how his comes from, or where the origins are, it's basically the same
in that
thing.
Universe.
Exactly.
That's his counterpart.
Exactly.
Correct. Right.
He's like the darker version of Shazam, or whatever you would call it.
Okay.
The anti-Shazam or whatever.
Okay. Okay. Well, shout out Black Adam, rounding out your B tier.
Yes, sir. I guess. So then the rest of the characters here, I did not consume any of their media.
Really?
Yeah.
You never watched Adventure Time?
Nope.
Never seen Rick and Morty?
Nope. Well, I've seen like episodes here and there with like friends, but like I've never sat down and really been like,
I feel that.
I'm gonna watch this, you know?
It's your Simpsons.
Yeah. So these characters, like, I was like, it's cool if they're being added, but I don't have like an attachment to them.
Right. So it's not really C. It's just like you don't really have an opinion.
Yeah. Instead of C, it's more like IDC. Like,
yeah.
You know,
nice.
like,
nice for whoever that's nice for.
It's like I don't care. Like, he's cool, I guess. I guess the dog is pretty neat.
He's got like an interesting belly button or something. Got like a gem in his belly button, dog. Did you know that?
I think this is.
That makes it, bro. Why Finn dead last of not caring?
I hate him.
Yeah.
That character was so obnoxious, and like,
bruh.
I don't know, something about his voice. Like when I first heard his voice in the game, and like looked at him, I was like, bro, he's wearing a diaper on his head. Like, I don't care about this dude. He's a little nerd. He got a book bag and a sword that was like this big, but it was actually like this big. I'm way off camera. There's a reason why.
Yeah, the disjoint is disgusting.
Yeah, you know, Sephiroth is bigger than that.
And
like,
then on top of that, he was the only like scaling character. Like if you beat somebody up, you could perma-scale essentially.
Yeah.
Did
like,
it ever stop?
I don't think
The speed
so.
buffs? I think it can keep going.
Like, I'll say his character design was really cool. The shop, everything he did was really, really unique and very exciting to watch. Awful to fight, but he was designed well in that regard, and his moveset and tools were cool.
Yeah.
I just didn't care about it, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, all these characters, I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
Unlike Steven Universe, because he's also Garnet in him.
Well, you know, I couldn't recommend you watching Game of Thrones, but I can 100% with my full chest recommend that you watch Adventure Time.
I've heard that from so many people, and so many people that I trust. So, like, maybe.
The underlying theme, like the subtext of, like, the world and everything that's going on is probably one of the most well-written, beautiful children's shows ever. It'll make you cry if you care. So, like, if you invest yourself into the characters and you reach the moments, like those big truth moments of like why they're in the land of Ooh and what's going on, and you're like, whoa.
So did you watch the show because you have kids?
No, I watched Adventure Time as a young person, as a young adult.
Okay.
I watched it like as it was dropping.
All right, gotcha.
So I think I'm like 13 or 14 as it was coming out, and I just like the song, and it kind of made me feel like fever dreamy. Like when I watch it, like just that world that was like, "Adventure time, come on, grab your friend." I'm like, okay, sweet. And then there was this song. Oh my gosh, there's this song that like.
I'm good as DMCA now.
Oh my gosh, never. I'm not that good.
YouTube be crazy.
There's this song like where it's like, "Don't be sleepy, weepy puppies," and it's like the cutest little song ever. And like I just remember that song would always play in my head and like calm me down. And it was like a song that Jake's mom would sing to Jake and Finn, and like it's a whole world, man. I 100% recommend that you immerse yourself in it. I'm sure we'll see some comments in the chat saying, yeah, MVD, you gotta watch this series. It's insane, and it's all on HBO Max.
True
it's all there, and now they even have like Fiona and Cake leading into that, and like I ain't gonna say nothing, but it's kind of peak fiction. For sure.
All right, I'll consider it.
Well, MVD, that's about all I'm gonna ask you to go back into the dark recesses of your mind on MultiVersus on. Literally,
I love this game.
You were a part of that for like 2 years, or a year before, kind of, or like months before we kind of saw it in the alpha, and then the alpha was out for months before people saw it in the closed beta, and now it's out for months before the open beta. So like, you've been a big part of this journey. I can't wait for it to come back. It's coming back 2024, if I'm not mistaken. That's their soft launch date. I'm gonna be looking out for it.
Oh, me too. I can't wait.
You're my friends
I love
list,
the game.
so I'll get to see you if you're on.
For sure.
You're like,
I just remember the day I got that email, and I was like, "What is this?" Warner Brothers email, and I was like, "This doesn't look like a buy our game thing."
You're like, what's going on?
I opened it, and they were like, "We want you to play test the game for us," and I was like, "Oh, what kind of game?" And they were like, "We can't tell you unless you sign this NDA." And I was like, "Okay, what kind of game?" And then they were like, "Platform fighter," and I was like, "Dude, sign me up! Like, you came to the right place. Obviously, you did your research,
No, facts.
Yeah, no, I was very, very blessed and thankful to Warner Brothers and Tony, whoever from that group handpicked me out to help with this game and test it out and be there from my day one, which is a lot earlier than most people's day ones. I cannot appreciate it more. It was a really good experience with those people.
Well, I think we have a small message from one of our sponsors. We're going to take a quick break, jump to a commercial, but after we get back, we're going to jump into some gameplay on the game that you play right now professionally, competitively. We're going to play some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and we're going to talk about MVD's coaching style, kind of do a little mock Metafy lesson with the guy because he's on Metafy. Go ahead and go to his metafy.gg at MVD, and you can go and book a session with this guy. But
at MVD 731.
731, you know what time it is. But we're going to get into that right after this break.
Yo, Umi, you there?
Yep, I'm back. Are you ready?
Almost dropped our controllers, but we're back in the building with our controllers. And speaking of controllers, bro, okay, this is like somebody that plays some GameCube games through the Switch and other things. This is a professional.
Do you even play games with this? This got no marks and no nothing. Ain't no love marks. Come on, man.
That's a 2001 too, bro. That's like from my.
Really?
That's my first GameCube controller.
This stick feels mad good for being that old. That's crazy.
I probably
barely use this.
I'm lack of talent. It's lack of talent. If people are good, they be gripping that thing.
For real.
Unfortunately for me, I'm not that talented. That's why I talk about games. My talent comes in perception.
You're good at talking about games.
Hey, that's a big vouch. I
good.
appreciate the love, but just show your controller real quick to the camera. We kind of had to go get a close up earlier, but like, look at the beautiful work. Who made this controller for you?
So this controller was made by CV Smash Mods on Twitter.
Shout out
CV Smash Mods. They're great. They do really good work. Custom controllers. Nothing that's like illegal for tournament standards. Everything is still up to par and up to snuff. Like if they decided to have like esports controller testing, you know, it's gonna pass. There's nothing illegal in it. It's a very good controller though. I like it a lot.
First thing I'm noticing is for these buttons, super smooth. And then you got the MVD inside.
I got the MVD logo on my A button.
Your A button, like, come on now.
And then for some reason I got a bullet in my B button.
See, this right here is what I need, bro. You feel the springs?
Oh, I know. That's why I have these.
Sheesh. That's the one thing. Like I usually play on a pro controller just for the fact of like I can feel myself pressing the.
Having a GameCube controller with a digital input essentially is so much nicer than the mechanical one.
Sounds like I gotta hit up CV Smash Mods and get my.
So true, to be honest. Though. Like,
no, honestly though.
No, they're really good. Really good.
And that
work.
braided cord so it doesn't get all tore up.
Paracord is so nice. These guys, like I said, they work magic. They're very good at what they do.
Well, I wanted to take a moment to kind of give people a sample of what it's like. Like we kind of said before the break, you are on Metafy. You're a top Metafy coach at that. You know, you be booked up. You be talking your stuff between all your titles that you do. You could give people general knowledge about the game. You could give specific matchup experience. Like there's not much that you're ignorant to when it comes to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So I just wanted let's jump into a game real quick. We're going to bring up the gameplay that I have. Thanks for OMEN bringing us these beautiful PCs that's capturing this so beautifully. You know,
it's really pretty.
It's top tier.
This is not my sponsor, but it looks damn good. Like,
we're going to have to probably, make sure this music.
You can change that.
Don't let this music get too loud and then we get DMCA'd.
For real.
I know that's like a thing on Twitch, right? There'll be like VODs muted on like a Twitch VOD because the song isn't.
Yeah, my arena song, they were like, "How dare you?" I was like, "Man, I brought the game. What you mean?" Like,
well, we kind of talked about cast of characters earlier. Who's your top 3 of this crazy cast? This is one of the biggest, most extensive rosters.
Oh man, of course we got. In terms of what, like who I'm excited for. What?
Just like who you feel like just is so perfect in Smash and just like was a really good addition. Or I'm sure Sora is up there for you.
Well, I literally cried when he got announced. Yeah. So
no
Sora is absolutely up there. Snake, that full 180. When I was mad he was included, and then I was mad he wasn't included in Smash 4.
Right.
And then when he dropped for Ultimate, that trailer at that E3 that I was invited to by Nintendo. Thank you, Nintendo.
Shout out Nintendo.
I cried my eyes out when he got announced.
It was huge. Dude. The moment leading up to it, and then the video was like
that everyone is
hear
here.
The music?
Dude.
Bro.
Oh my God,
Bro.
Snake. It's those two easily my 2 favorite characters in the game, announcement wise. And then beyond that, back in my Melee days, I originally was a Young Link main. So I was really happy when he got announced back as well.
Now I see why Sisto respects you so much. You probably you're nasty on the Young Link, and he looks up to you.
He was definitely a character that I thought about playing, because I was like, oh wow, like the Melee character that I loved is here again. So it was very, very impactful character. Of course, we got Diddy Kong. I love Diddy Kong.
That's your boy.
My namesake.
You put him in the blue. Don't you usually wear him with the blue?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the boy in blue.
So clean, so clean. I don't like yellow, but I like it on Diddy Kong. It is what it is. And then I guess to round out a top 5. Let's see. I think we can just be basic and say Mario, to be honest.
Hey, my favorite thing is if you look through every single box art for any game that Mario is in, he's on the box usually.
Yeah.
He's always got those happy eyes. He's got those happy eyes. But when it's Smash, he always has like game on eyes, bro. He's tapped in, like
just like me for real.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
God, like we can play our little. I'm racing with my friends, But when it comes to Smash Bros, like all bets are off. Mario's in there to win. Let's jump into a game so people can see what it's like to see it. What's your ranking on the most recent global ranking?
The one that's like most up to date. I think I was like 63 or something.
Sheesh.
That's mostly because
in the world.
Mostly because lack of attendance. Wait till next year. I'm gonna be a lot higher.
Honestly, because you've already kind of shown that this is your year. You out here doing some stuff. So 2024, you got the sponsorship on top of it. It's gonna be absolutely insane, bro. I'm very excited. Okay, let me just make sure I can press buttons too.
You can press them. I mean, don't mean they'll work, but you can press them.
All right, and then remember, I want you to kind of think about what your diagnosis would be, how you would if somebody's with you in the meta 5, what are you thinking of first when you're in these situations? What's kind of first things on your mind when you're jumping in a game with somebody?
So if someone specifically is wanting to learn like how to fight Snake and how to deal with Snake, first and foremost, I will grenade a lot. I do that anyway. But against like someone who I'm trying to actively teach, I will grenade a lot, maybe a lot more than usual, just to see how they deal with it. Because that's obviously one of Snake's most important tools. But yeah, like I said,
and
grenades,
that's
super
always your
important.
thing too,
C4s,
man.
oh, you
C4
know.
with no audio though, team?
Actually broken.
Actually
broken. Snake absolutely gets a buff at majors when they don't have good audio quality. Very nice for me. Love it. So everyone's always like, you don't use a headset? I'm like, I'm not the person fighting Snake.
Yeah.
I don't need it. Like, I know when I'm pressing
Like, I'm
it.
only trimmed about that against like Paulo Kage.
Not even. Like, ooh, nice back air.
Hey, thank you, brother. You taught me that one, I think. I did buy a Meta 5 session from you because I respect you so much on the sticks. Bro.
How did that go?
Honestly, man, I definitely leveled up my game. Like, I'm not at that competitive level that I wish I could probably be at, like, if I was going to really be investing in this title, but you taught me a lot of things about the paper, rock, scissors of the game that I wasn't really thinking about too often, you know, and it was really nice just to get somebody to also tell you what you're doing well, you know,
Right.
like, you were able to tell me, like, okay, yeah, you're doing some great juggling there, like, good
Yeah,
sharking underneath.
it's not
you,
always
like-
about what someone's doing poorly. You know,
Right.
you
know
gotta,
when you lose a game most of the time. Like, you feel it, like, oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
you know why you're losing. Like, I don't gotta tell you why you're losing.
Yeah, you felt that.
I can tell you why you're not winning, which is different than losing, to be honest.
Yeah, no,
in my
facts.
vocabulary.
Especially in a game like this where nothing's given. There's no lucky stocks. I mean, there's a couple characters that can feel lucky, but in general,
Some
you
situations
gotta
can be
take what
wacky
you,
for sure.
what you get, you know? Oh, that's so annoying.
Oh, you commentate this so much, you should know what the C4s are.
Nah, man, I try not to look at them so I don't say it, so I don't give it to your opponent.
So true. Shout outs to not every commentator.
I'm like, nah, I have to know it for the people, but oh, that was so clean though. That was a nice little mix up, Oski champ. I'm proud of me. Oh no, not
Not the parry. I was like, I have to up tilt you.
bro, even with
Like,
the Katy Perry, so smooth.
You know,
So what you know, you finished a little game. That's the first game. Let's say we've never played together.
Mm-hmm.
What are the first kind of things? Because it's a lot to coach somebody and give them too much information. You
Right.
try to like usually probably nail down one thing and give them a couple things to think about. Or?
Usually I try to play a few games with someone before I give advice because some people are so gung-ho. They play one game and they're like, tell me everything went wrong. I'm like, well,
So, hey,
that was only 3 minutes, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I killed you very
if I
fast.
can do it, I was like, if I can analyze you in 3 minutes, I'm in the wrong career. You know, I
Right.
should be a psychologist. But
right.
it's just about playing with someone and trying to understand their level of expertise and what they understand, what they don't understand. Like I said, if it's more Snake akin and more Snake focused, I'm gonna just ask them their level of experience with Snake, and then no matter what they say, it's about how they prove it in game. You know,
Right.
some people say, I love fighting Snake, favorite matchup, and then we play, and they look completely lost.
Yeah.
And then they always cite, it's like, oh, well, you're just different. I'm like, okay, sure, that is true.
I am a top representative of the
Yeah,
character, but
it's like, that
I
is-
should be your benchmark of you knowing that matchup. Then,
Right.
Right.
It's like I'm different, obviously. One of the better ones in the world for the past my entire life.
Big facts.
But there's still certain things that at a base level it still covers up to top level.
Right.
And if people aren't doing those things, that's when you start picking them out. Like,
Right.
oh, you want to grab more. You want to be more averse to grenades and like how to avoid grenades. You don't have to catch them all the time. You can just jump around them.
Right.
Little things here and there.
I'm lucky I get a reflect, so that's a big option for me.
Yeah,
And
big true.
Wolves, especially rising reflect and things like that, like it's a super viable option.
Yeah.
But for a lot of characters, they don't have that. It's a
Yeah.
huge blast radius coming at you every frame. You basically have one
Yeah.
ready to go. So, what would you say? You know, I don't want you. You know, got majors coming up. I don't want nobody doing too much study on you. But what would you say is like the big game plan for somebody to kind of get behind your grenade wall? That initial test. What would you say people need to do?
They just gotta pay attention to how long I'm holding the grenade for. If I'm not cooking them and just throwing them like this, it's a lot easier to work with.
Right.
Because the timer's 2.5 seconds, and it's always 2.5 seconds. There's no variable to it. It's very consistent. So if people are not going to just like approach me in situations where I'm just throwing them, I will just keep throwing them. But if they start to play a little more around the grenade timings, that's more when I start holding on to them and waiting a little bit and then throwing.
And you really know exactly how you're good with timing.
Exactly.
Like even when you put a C4, you're
There's
very
one thing
aware
I
of,
can
like,
use. I'm good with timing, but I
Right.
beat myself up. That's crazy.
well, I mean, you're not thinking right now, but when you're in that mode, like you drop a C4, you're thinking about that timer.
Oh, yeah,
And you're
I-
thinking about when you could back throw them into that, things like that. All your little confirms.
I mean, when I drop C4, I always look at the timer because it is 24.6 seconds consistently every single time. So I just
24.6.
yeah,
Get ready.
that's what matters. I dropped the C4, look at the clock.
So
and
at
then do the
24,
math.
if you got them in that situation, you're like, oh, bet.
Yeah.
You're like,
So
I know
you
what's
know
going
when
on.
it's gonna blow up by itself. Like there are situations where you can pressure people as Snake into your C4 that's gonna auto detonate. If you pay attention to the timer, you should know when it's gonna blow up. You just gotta do quick little math. It's not too hard. But yeah, it's just a lot of little things that on both ends, you know, timing matters so much. Obviously,
Do you like this matchup, getting to go against the Wolf? It's one of the more volatile ones. For
I
you,
think it's
for
more
sure.
like an even matchup for
Right.
sure. Wolf does pretty well. Like I said, he has a reflector. He has a laser that does really good against Snake as well. Yeah, I can crouch under it, but it still contains that entire zone. He has really good grab game, fast grab, good grab combos, and that's
kills off his grabs.
yeah. Those are things that Snake doesn't necessarily struggle with, but that's like
He doesn't like it.
it's a positive against him.
Yeah.
Grabbing Snake is how you do well against him. And if you have a character with good frame data and good combo game off grabs or kill throw, that's a net
Who's
positive.
your worst matchup in the game? Not
Character-wise or
many. There's not-
player-wise?
Character-wise, and of course, I guess we'd say somebody player-wise, or like a player base-wise, like
Right.
certain character mains that get in your skin.
Character-wise, personally for me, I know a lot of people don't agree with this, but I would say Zero Suit does really well against Snake.
Zero Suit, wow, super impressive.
Yeah, the hardest ones I would say are like Zero Suit, Mega Man, Sonic, and like Inkling. Really annoying for Snake.
Inkling is a really sleeper character, doesn't get used to that
Yeah.
level, but I think probably one of the scariest characters in the cast, bro.
Yeah, especially if you're Snake. Like I said, you know, Inkling's a character that has good grab frame data, good grab combos,
And it can
throw
hide,
combos.
hiding all the time,
Yeah,
like underneath
very
your
good
stuff.
character
All right,
against Snake.
We'll play another game. We'll get you guys some more thoughts of what MVD's thinking. Probably something about how I should camp him more with laser, so he feels at least a bit of pressure when we're in these mid ranges. But that's just my analysis of the situation. I just love pressing W, man. I'm sorry. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to this life. It's gonna be hard to quit. Not like this. No. Wow, that's crazy. I don't like you. You trying to clip me for the pod?
I mean, you know,
He's like, I play for the clips. Oh no.
like a moth to a flame. Everyone always goes to the C4. It's crazy. People swear they don't know where C4 is, but they always run to it and stop at it.
You're like, there's no way you didn't know. I saw you jump on it.
Yeah,
so I
it's
pressed
like
one
you
button.
ran straight to it. What do you mean you didn't see it? You know I'm gonna hit you with a box, right?
I'm not looking forward to it, bro.
As long as you know.
Had to get at the box. Now I'm running on
You didn't roll. That's crazy.
Dude, I'm the most I played Armo for like 2 seconds. He said, you're just so unorthodox. It's so frustrating. I'm like, bro, we've been doing this since Smash 64, bro. we don't play this like you little frame data farmers. Moth to the flame.
You were just moving around everywhere. You decided to jump in place.
So where am I
There
gonna,
it is.
Where am I gonna stop? Right on his C4. Oh, not like this.
Oh, no jump, baby.
Oh, that's crazy setup. That's gotten somebody better than me, so I know it could have got me for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, for sure.
Let me try to use some of these fares one time.
Good luck fairing when he's blowing up. You're
Oh no!
aiming, man.
I
Bye-bye.
threw it. Okay. Not like this. Not like this. You can't box me. I'm not Roddy Rich. I didn't want it. I didn't want it.
You didn't need it.
I didn't need it anyway,
You
because
didn't
you're not
need
wrong. MVD, tell these people where they can find you at and follow your story, brother.
So yeah, I got everything for me is at MVD731 on every platform: Twitter or X, Instagram, Twitch, Metafy, Fresh Cut.
Yes.
You name it.
Yes.
If there's a platform,
All of that.
if I'm on it, it's gonna be MVD731.
MVD 731. It's been an absolute pleasure to be in
Yes,
the building
sir.
with you, man. We want to, of course, give our shout out to HyperX Arena for letting us use their studio. Allied Esports for everything they do to produce this. The team that touches this raw footage that we give them is like some of the most amazing people in the world, and I'm just so thankful for everybody that puts their hands on this project. We want to, of course, give a thanks and a big shout out to all of you all for listening and watching. Who better to give a thanks to at the end of this thing? We're going to be out of here. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube, where we're going to continue to drop these at a new cadence. We got a cadence coming. It's going to be bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. We're going to be dropping these episodes, so be on the lookout for that. We have an insane lineup of guests coming. We have Miss Shay Kapanui coming in the building. We got the chief editor of one of the biggest online publications. So I'm not even going to spoil it. We're going to let y'all go. Have a wonderful day. This has been UsernameTaken, and we will see you on the next episode.
Take care, guys.